Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to the Music Notes Podcast by Music Please. Today we have the handsomest man in the amp making business, Mr. Nik from Ceriatone Amplifications.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, and Music Please for having me in your program. Yep.
Glad to have you on finally, and also with the resident demoist of you watch Ceratone's YouTube. Only one man is demoing all the amps. That dude right there, Mr. Wani. Hello. Assalamualaikum. So, how did Ceratone start? When did it start?
Basically, this all started as a hobby. I was in the US studying in the 90s. So I was into vintage gear, vintage amps, vintage guitar, and was messing about. So when I came back to Malaysia, that was in 99, I found out that Malaysia had a lot of vintage amps. And a lot of them were in disrepair.
Okay.
Yeah, because there were no tags around and parts were, people couldn't really get parts or didn't know where to get the parts, right? So I started fixing these amps and I was selling them on eBay. I mean, at the time, people in Malaysia was not aware of eBay. So I was making good money, selling Plexi amps that I got for like 150 ringgit and selling them for like, much more than that. That was in that time.
Yeah.
And that's how I got started. And at the same time, back in early 2000, there were a lot of these forums that started on the net. And some of them were DIY community who made amps as a hobby. So I was part of that community, and I found out that some of the things that they need, I can supply. Circuit boards, chassis, and all that. So we didn't start making amps straight away. It was more about supplying the parts needed, and only in 2005, 2006 that this was in 2003 or so when we started selling on eBay and online for the parts. And I think it was in 2005 or 2006 that we started, selling complete amps.
Okay.
Yeah, starting with, just a few models.
But it's interesting. Where did your knowledge come from? How did you know what to fix in the amps?
Okay. Well, I went for electrical computer engineering in the US. So, but a lot of it, I mean, they didn't teach cube technology in school. I mean, it's old technology, right? So, when you have an interest in it and you read up on it and you discuss online and you just work your way into it, you're messing with things and all that, and it's little by little, it's more about experience than actually knowing straight away.
Yeah, because some engineers they just replace any part of the tube amp with anything that's replaceable with it. But for those people who are like really tone junkies, you can't just replace.
No, because especially in vintage and community, right? I mean, originality is very important. So you just cannot go into a vintage Plexi and replace all the master caps inside with new caps. I mean, people probably gonna miss you for that.
Yes, sir, this one on one-to-one placement, right?
Yeah, or you try to preserve as much as possible the old caps, whenever possible. Yeah, or you try to hunt for the vintage parts as well. Yeah. The thing is, Malaysia was full of those vintage parts like master caps. You could get them in Pasar Road.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, I did borrow everything in Pasar Road and sold them on eBay as well. Even the capacitors, those master caps were from the 60s or late 60s, 70s. So I did that, but yeah, restoring vintage amps is more about originality than just the basic, But I know, yeah, you're right. Sometimes you just want to replace everything.
Yeah. So it takes some knowledge to know what the actual components are supposed to be in that particular amp.
Yeah, and even some people say resistors are resistors or capacitors are capacitors. I mean, different resistors, they're from different materials, different mix. Same with capacitors. So those are, to me, they do the part in the sum. Yeah.
Collectively, it's what they form here. Is that the distinctive character, brains, model.
Yeah.
So this started as a one-man operation?
Yeah, it started as a one man, and then pretty soon I got a friend who joined me, and after that, I got one staff and then two, so I guess the hobby got serious. Yeah.
And this was still when you making DIY kits before assembling. So once you started assembling complete amps, then it had to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing.
When I was doing the parks, right, it was just 2%. When we got into complete apps, I guess the third guy joined, and soon after there were like 5 or 6 of us. It started pretty organically. I mean, it didn't like boom straight away like that, Yeah.
How did you market the brand basically when you started like? What got you famous?
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that I was famous.
That's $1 million question, right?
Yeah, how did it get to where it is today? I guess I was lucky, sort of like at the right place at the right time, because early 2000s was the start of the online forums. Before that, it was more about the email, DB boards, right? The forum started, and when you could post pictures and things like that, right? So it made marketing easier, because people could see the stuff that they're getting. We didn't really advertise. It's more like word of mouth within the DIY community. Yeah.
And this was mainly outside Malaysia, I'm guessing?
Yeah, at the time. But I did supply also. There were some old tags here that I supplied parts for, especially cubes and whatnot. But mainly is export outside.
Yeah, but it's very interesting. The achievement is like, you're so well known for doing these amps outside of Malaysia, right? Compared to like within Malaysia.
I guess
Does that say like there's a lack of a market here for vintage amps, vintage style amps perhaps?
okay. What we do is in terms of the market segment, I guess we are on the, not to say higher end, but we compete with the boutique apps, the high end market. But our prices, if you're in the US, is cheap or lower than our competitors. But you have to look at Malaysia in terms of purchasing power. I mean, what is cheap to the Americans might not be to the Malaysians, right? And also there, and partly also because we did not really market, and at the time it was such a small company, 5 of us, and we were barely coping with the demand at the time, which wasn't that much, but because we were such a small company, and so I guess we just took whatever was easiest, which was the US market. Yeah.
Okay, understand. Were you working 2 jobs at this time? Was this a full-time gig head on?
I think because I was doing IT before. I had an IT company. We were doing custom software. Yeah, and until 2006, I was really doing quite a big project with one of the GLCs here actually. But come after, I think it was 2007 that I had to decide whether I wanted to do this full time, because at the time, I mean, the orders were quite, it required a lot of attention. So I decided to quit IT, to quit doing the custom software business, and concentrated fully on Trato.
Well, interesting, eh? You know hardware, study software, so where is going to come your IRs?
Oh,
such a touchy subject.
yeah.
Wait, they combine software, hardware.
It's a difficult question because you have so many companies doing IRs and whatever digital extensions to the otherwise analog amps. I like to concentrate and do the best of in this particular style of doing things, which is the vintage style amps. But not to say we do not innovate, right? I mean, the amp that we have here, we are highlighting here, is the Plexi 51 all access. For those who know, the Plexi amp, Marshall amps back in the 60s, and they differ in that this 66 or 67, 68, 69. I mean, Hendrix was using this particular year, Monster was using this particular year, and so forth. And what the Plexi 51 does is that we put switches on them so that you get all the difference between this vintage here.
There's different eras in the total era.
What create into one amp. And on top of that, we also add modern features like buffer do and master volumes and all that, so that it's more like a more modern amp without sacrificing the vintage aspect of it.
Yeah, so this is where the innovation part of Ceriatone kind of comes up.
You still retain that vintage sound, but give more modern approach to it.
Yeah. As the noise floor and everything is lower than a vintage amp.
Yeah, because of sometimes we use better parts than before. I mean, the noise was different, and it's also the construction technique, the drumming techniques, and all that, right? And it's all still hand-wired. So back to the question of IRs and whatnot, when you try to introduce those things, you need space instead of chassis, and pretty much because you try to cram everything inside, and that's where PCB comes in, Yeah, so to me, I prefer the old way of doing things.
You feel just because you're gonna combine so many flavors in one, there's some compromise in terms of the organic tone or something.
In a way,
Transformer side that we sacrifice still with there.
Yeah, the transformer is outside. But then the thing about PCB usually, to me, is people do PCB and then they try to make things so small, so cramped. They try to fit as much features as possible. So there are also companies that do PCB, but the layout is like a vintage style of layout. Things are very roomy and so it depends. PCB is I'm not saying that PCB is best bad. I think if you do it properly and use the good components, you can still get the same results as a Thunderbolt or eyelet or amp. Yeah, but it's more like the concept behind it. It's nice to get a Handwired amp or Thunderbolt amp. Yeah, there's craft or perhaps nostalgia to it.
Yeah,
nostalgia to it.
I've seen like the Ceriatone Facebook page, people like, oh my god, the soldering is immaculate. Yeah, regular stairs, Because it's important. They go crazy on gut shots. You said like, go to the gut shot, you're going to charge them for each photo or something.
It's one of these things nowadays. Everything about pictures, Instagram, It's not like you did not do that thing, although you did. If you didn't take a picture, so we get a lot of requests for.
Like the bigger process, you want to show happening. Baby pictures. Baby pictures. Your reply was, how much? What's the outcharge for the shirts and stuff?
It's like take pictures. But didn't order pic, but one is taken after it's packed or something.
So unpacking photography feedback. Actually, if you quickly go back also to you're talking about innovation part, like buffer effects loop. I think that's quickly explain to the audience what's the difference between a regular effects loop and a buffer effects loop. Why does it matter for it to be a buffer effects loop?
Okay, so basically we call it a passive or the normal interrupt style loop. It's just a break in connection between the preamp and power amp with no processing done whatsoever. So from the preamp, the signal is what we call line level. So it's very hot, and the impedance is also usually not what the usual pedals want to see. Back in the 80s, there were rack units, they were very popular, and a lot of these rack units are fine with that kind of loop. But nowadays, people, everybody has 50 pedals on their pedal boards, right? So that's where the issue comes in. So the buffer loop helps with that.
I see.
It's a level and impedance matching.
I see. Yeah. Okay. So in today's day, you use the old school ones, you're gonna feel sounds are gonna drop and
because of the mismatch. Mismatch.
What are some of the other innovations if you can elaborate, some of your models, interesting innovations with that besides this? this era switches and stuff. These are any other mods you provided to old school amps like brought it to the to today's day and age.
Okay, basically for the classification one, not much. We have the Q and rectifier switch, which is quite normal, but it's important because some of the earlier Plexis had tube rectifier like the JTM50 or the JTM45, right? So this also has that. So you can have different, not only different era GMP amps, but also like JTM50 and things like that. And that's also the master volume, which is a pulse phase inverter master volume. What it does is that the usual master volume is a 70s Marshall, or like before the phase inverter. The phase inverter is in the power amp, so it only allows for the preamp to distort, but not the phase inverter and above. So this is after the phase inverter, but before the tubes.
Okay.
Yeah, and the next step, I guess, to use attenuator, which is which actually allows the power tubes to cook.
Yes.
Before the signal enters speaker.
Okay. What is the importance of having that power section like cranked? Like, why do you have to crank it in order to get that kind of? We're doing that. Because some people don't understand. Like, you go play a Fresco, right? You try to give them to a certain level for that tone. But the soundman, you sing sana, your singer says already, then when you turn down the volume, master volume is like, kenapa tone kita macam tu and all that? Yeah. Why that master volume is so important to be that loud in order for it to get that sound?
It just sounds better.
Correction, it's not loud.
Okay.
It's not loud. It's level. It's level. So, I mean, certain amps you need to have the headroom because that's when the power tubes are cooking.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So, certain amps after a certain threshold, right, it goes into that distortion.
Okay.
Right? Even on the power tubes. Mm-hmm. So, some people, it's for me, it's that desired distortion. Mm-hmm. It's a desired one because it's so natural. So, some amps you really need that. Otherwise, the sound, like I said, the sound like mosquito fight.
Yeah, missing something.
It's always missing that. Hey, where's the magic? I mean, in the advent of nowadays where stages needs to be clean, that's where you miss a lot.
Yes. Okay.
Because I've done shows where the cabinet had to be under the stage.
Yes.
That's when you crank it up.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So when it's in that situation, when you crank it up, you hear all those bloom, all this. I mean, I can put all the guitar layers, but the feel of it inside your in-ears, inside the wedges, is so different.
Another way to put it is that certain low end and thumb.
That is the thumb. It's the thumb. That's and it's so responsive to your playing. It's so dynamic. So that you have that amount of able to play with. So the loudest is here.
Yes.
That's it. So as long you level with the drummers, that's why it's not loud. It's actually leveling with the drummer.
You get the same feel with solid states and digital and Cube versus digital. Here we go. We are talking cube.
Okay, here's the $1 million questions. I am one of those people where I combine those two. Where my main source is a tube amp, where I crank it, and then the back end processing I send it as digital. So I still have the analog thing going, processing into it, but I still have a dry signal where it's analog. So I tried a couple of days ago. I tried with a fully digital thing. You get that loudness, but you don't get the
Yeah. You're missing again all the thumb.
Yeah. But having said that, I do have a cabinet behind me, so I still can measure because I have it. I think it was a JC. So it was plugged into the return, so I still can control the power tubes. So I still get the thumb behind me. It's more of a feeling thing rather than, it's more of a feeling thing. As a player, you feel more than it's audible. You get what I mean?
Yes, I get what you mean. But then yeah. But actually, another thing is like many new players nowadays they've not experienced this high volume play.
And what I was going to say that. Yeah, but in the 80s, you go into these jamming studios and JCM 100 or at least a Fender or Bandmaster or twin reverb, you know?
Yeah.
And people dig kind of loud, right? And nowadays it's not the case. A lot of kids they just play at home and you cannot really crank at home. So it's also about familiarity, you know, and when you are somebody who's not used to playing a loud amp, like a loud tube amp, it's a matter of, you know, how do I control this thing? Yeah. So it's a matter of familiarity as well.
Touch the string and then there's a sound. Wind up.
Oh, go out there. Got a few experiences where I played with new kids where they are so used to the digital stuff. I mean, they're using modulars and all that, so they are plugging in direct, and whatever sound that comes out is either from the wedges or from their in-ears. So it has no feedback from the back. So when I said, then they look at my ear and say, oh, you know, Bang, how? I said, you come here, plug into my guitar, plug into the cable, you play. And the moment open the volume a bit, I can see the guitar volume at 2. Oh, Bang, how? That's the guitar sound. That's a proper guitar sound. But then again, I mean, it's always a difference of opinions, you know, because they're so used to it because they brought up with that. Eh? Whereas we are, I mean, 80s baby kan. So we are brought up with loud guitars. I mean, no, someone play video, mine quad kan. So it's like, it's based on that mainly.
So it's like encouraged for you to enter down to your local guitar store and try and amp really loud and not that.
Yes, do that. By all means.
You say one is better than the other. I mean, whatever works, you know. I mean, for a kid to actually play guitar, that's good enough, you know. And to me, I mean, of course, I'm biased because I made two hands. For a kid to start playing guitar nowadays is good enough. When Interpret is in competition with, you know, iPads, online, you know, online games and, you know. So, but to me, once the guitarist gets into the journey, and then probably at first he'd be upgrading his guitar, discovering pickups, it won't be, it'll just be a matter of time before he wonders, you know, how does a tube amp sound? How do I get that tone? How do I get Jimi Hendrix tone and all that? And that's when probably, hopefully, that he you know, go get more into tube amps.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of kids also are also saying that, hey, I play this plugin and I hear this guy play that amp on YouTube. Sound pada beza.
It's your ears plays a big part. I mean, the more you grow, the more your ears mature as well. So let's hope for the best lah.
But yeah, not to take from the digital technology, like, I mean, they're getting better. But still, to me, you know, I can still hear, you know, some difference.
But I only give it to this I will give it to digital where it's convenient and it's consistent.
Convenience is the number one.
Yeah, because when you do a show moves and all that, of course, digital will trump because of that, right? Because of consistency and it's convenient. It's like whatever you need, it's like very fast, very quick, and you can set it. Yeah, but still, if given the chance, have an option where I have ample time. No man, I'll bring my hits.
Yeah.
There.
And if not for a live setting, I guess the studio is the best. Studio work is the best opportunity to test, to try these kind of bands, and test them, right? I'm sure you're always using analog gear for recording more.
Yes.
Yes.
But so there's also the smaller power amps, and nowadays with attenuators, or now like your, what do you call it for the recordings? Yeah, 2 notes. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you use, like you were talking about the digital backend, so the captor kind of assists.
Yeah, the captor is the one feeding into the digital side.
Yeah. So it comes with dummy load so that you don't hear the amp, but it gets into your cover or into a small speaker or whatever it is.
So for those who are unfamiliar, the 2 notes captor or captor X, if you have a head like a 100-watt head, you can't crank it in your apartment or whatever. You can use the captor as a load box, attenuator, IR loader, and everything. You can easily load it to your audio interface and just use it.
You can. Okay, trust me.
You can crank it. The 2 notes captor has insert plug buy musicbits.com. I'm like, yeah, the students of the friend, please come.
Wasn't fine.
Yeah, it just happened. Anyway, out of all this, like now you can look, it's like what, 30 OMs, 30 different models. So really, it's infinite if you include the mods you can do.
Yeah.
Is there any particular model where you're proudest when you're baby? Damn, I think I nailed this one.
I guess the GM, the joyful music, which is like the drummer, water plate. Yeah, I'm proud of that because I mean, to me, it's one of the best sounding amps that we had.
That's based on Turok, is it? Or?
Yeah, so the signature for that type of music. I mean, it's pleasant. I mean, it's accessible by a lot of people, not just rock or shredders. Yeah, but the other amps as well, the Plexis, the 45s. I mean, those are the basic, the classics, right?
Yeah, your OTS style. Yes, a lot of people know.
Yeah. So I guess I don't have one exact favorite. Anything. Yeah, it depends on
Babies are.
Yeah.
All your children, you love them all equally.
Oh yes.
But how did you what was the first complete build you did? What model was it?
It was the 18 watt. Oh,
Which model?
it's based on the Marshall 1974 circuit.
TMB.
It's the wheeler from a.
Oh.
Yeah. So because at the time that was I mentioned the DIY community, and for some reason at the time that was rage. People were building that amp, and it's actually one of the first. It's the first model that we supplied, like circuit boards for. Yeah.
Who gave you the idea? Was demand what to expand to different models? But how do you think the next one we're going to do this? Next one is going to be that.
Okay, so the 197 is a classic amp, right? And of course the popular amps that everybody knows about, or at least at the time, was like the Creed Bassman, either the Plexi, the JPM 45. So I guess I went one by one, something we had to want. Then after that, we did the 3 Deluxe. Those were simple amps. So I started with 80 watt simple amp, the 5v3 simple, and then we did more and more complicated circuit, like the Bassman, the JDM 45, the Plexis, yeah, and only after that we got into channel switching amps, like the OTS.
With time, confidence grew, and then you decided to tackle more of this code.
Yeah, I think
Okay. And then, of course, I'm sure there were consumers who were like, I want this mod done, and you had to go to dry mod and kind of figure things out from there.
Yeah, you'd be surprised that it's almost like every other order is a bit more. That's why we are not into a mass production. I mean, because we need to put real things or to do the board differently and all that. And one of the reasons for the Plexi All Access having all these features, right, is because previously people were asking for some of these features as mods for the Plexi.
Okay.
So I got tired. I just drilling the cheesy and all that. So okay, we give you everything.
Here's the only one. This one is a me to mention kan. Ambil you tweet sendiri lah. You like one guy I think this mod, the other guy I think that mod is drill all the holes and give everything lah. It's there. And it's not just this, it's not just Plexi.
He just came out with Bandmaster All Access, JCM All Access, Bassman as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the all access still. Access to all this.
Yeah.
So I got it the all access series. That's good way of putting it. Yeah, all access.
It's with the popular mods and the modern features.
Yeah. Kind of helps narrow down the options paralysis lah. But just get this end bro, everything jalan.
Kau nak apa? Cakap.
Okay, so from ends, then how did the pedal thing come about?
Okay, we did the Centura. That was in 2017. The Centura came out. We are at about 10,000 units now. Yeah. So
Wait, is the 10,000 one maybe a 24 karat gold or something?
Not sure yet. I haven't thought about it. Some company recently added soon, 10,500.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Andy.
yeah, yeah. It's run its course. 2017 I was spending. So I guess for 7 years since 7 years now. So it started as a. It wasn't a dare. I saw a post somewhere. They say that cloning amps or pedals is easy. But when you say about cloning, it's not just about the circuit. If you try to clone a vintage pedal or amp, it's also about finding the exact type of components used. And this component was discontinued in 1987, for example. I mean, where the heck are you going to find those things? But it is possible. You have to browse the internet or go to some old warehouse and try to hunt for this. It's like a treasure hunt, really. So that got me, because I had an extra placenta that I got from the US in the 90s, right? I got it, at the time it was only like $300. Nowadays it costs like, I don't know,
$1,000 right now.
Yeah. And that thing served as a doorstop for like 2 years.
I'm not really.
Become king. You saw it's like, but fortunately a lot of people didn't know what it was, and probably at the time it didn't cost that much. So the clone, the circuit board is gold, right, with silicon, so you cannot really see with the circuit. The circuit was sort of known because some original ones were degrouped. But I also degrouped mine, so to verify. It turns out that mine was a pretty early serial number 600 something. So that's considered pretty early. So it was a bit different than the later ones. So, but I would say it's more about the hunt of the actual components, the same brand, the same type of resistors. Yeah. So, and of course the same look and shape.
I have to ask something. Whether you can review or not. I heard the first 50 Centura is betul-betul accurate, close to the real one in terms of the parts. After that, number 51 on those is a bit different.
The first, I think, is more than 50. Because the clone, they use the germanium diode. And that's one of the secret recipe of the clone center, right? I was lucky to get RCA SK3087. These are special select 1N34A germanium diodes. And to me, they were spot on as the originals, or even better, into my ears. So the first, I think, 100 plus units, because I only managed to get like 200 of those. And I kept looking to this day. No. But not to say the later ones were bad, because after that, for the next 4,000 or 5,000 units, it was actually USA made Sylvania 1N34As. Those are, I got them for like 20 cents each, right? Nowadays they sell for like $5 each, or even 10.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah. So I was lucky to be able to win. Gotten those spots.
Because Arthur, shout out Arthur, if he's watching this, he's the one, because he has a serial number 200 and below, I think. So he told me that this is the actual one. I'm like, can you sell it to me? No. That's just what we need. Oh, okay. Because the one I have is the highest serial number, so not as high as the value. So now, if you look on Reverb and you see a Centura serial number 200 video, it's going to skyrocket to $2,000. You just screwed the used market for those units.
Hopefully, because there's going to be like 10,500 Centuras out there. I mean, hopefully, because of the high number. I mean, it doesn't go that way. 4,000 euro for pedal. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
But that's how it is.
How successful the pedal was.
Yeah.
And then you went into the horsebreaker.
Yeah. The horsebreaker is, I guess we were already doing the Centura, and I think at the time, I guess your mayor was told to use the original.
Yes. There is actually a picture online of him having like a black, supposedly a Centura on his pedal board.
Okay, yeah. I guess I wouldn't say that it was, but
Yeah.
I mean the picture is there for everyone to see. Yeah. It was a huge rumor that in a way I was using that, but somebody said that it's not, but it looks.
It looks like it's Centura.
Yeah, it looks like that.
But we can at least confirm like people like Matthias Sato has a pink one. And
Yeah, so
Danish Speech from Andertons has a purple one. Yeah, were there any other notable players that you remember that?
yes, Joey.
Yeah,
You got mine. You got one.
And in terms of amps, yeah, we never talk about which famous players use the amps. Anyone? I know Joe Bodemesa bought a used OTS somewhere in the States, right?
Yeah, just yeah. He did. And we have a few, but because we do not usually pay the endorsement game, so it's always a bit hard to say in case it's really sensitive. Yeah. But sometimes these artists they post online what they got, so we can say that that's a picture of Joe Bonamassa.
Huge compliment for him to buy the amp. Knowing that he is a vintage gear junkie. He's going to actually fork money, it's close to the original stuff.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next question, like, did you have access to those real vintage amps in order to like study them and get the tone as close as possible, or like how did that work?
Oh yeah, some of them, I was saying that back then in the 90s, I mean, Plexis were really abundant, racing 30s or, but of course, dumbbells are, I've only seen like one, but most of the models we do is based on the input that other people give us all on the forums.
Yeah.
And of course, doing that, nobody circuit is one thing, but doing it and, try listening to it and try to get to be like the original is also one thing that you have to work on.
Exactly. So it's like interesting that even with just input from people, you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, sometimes people provide schematics or sometimes it's just some very pictures of the insides, But that's the thing, nowadays, people post on Instagram like, thousands of pictures that yet people do not get it, not just about ants, about things. And back then in the early 2000s or in the 90s, you just have this one dirty picture and people really work to like get to understand or get to figure out the things.
What is that freaking capacitor? What value and TMT?
Again, like fashion man.
And there are people doing it.
Yeah. So in a way, even though we have discontinued the Centura, we still have.
No, and not last year. We are about 9,700 or 800. So we will stop at like 10,500.
Yeah.
So that's like.
But people wouldn't need to worry because it's on the horse breaker.
Yeah.
It's really insane.
We were talking about easy. So horse breaker is a Centura and the blues breaker inside one pedal. Yeah. So quite popular as well. Yeah.
Sorry, but
You have one, right?
yeah, I have one. Yeah, it's an Axiom. I have both. I have the Centura and the Horsebreaker. Centura I purchased. Horsebreaker was clearly a gift from Abundant. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Way back then.
I used it in my recent recording RPK band, so all the lead tones you were hearing, the Bluesbreaker side of the pedal.
Okay.
Plug. Insert Ceriatone.com. I order your Horsebreaker here now. The text is going this way. Insert text. Just doing it there. Yeah. So very, very. What made you think to put those two together? Most people will really make the Centura. I mean the Bluesbreaker by its own, so I can sell these two. But we decided to combine what you already made and something new into one zipping. Like why did you think of that?
Yeah, I guess the most important was also Mayer was using the blues breaker at the time. Okay, but I did think about maybe Centura plus tube screamer, but it so happens that the tube screamer circuit is more complicated, so it's the blues breaker that can fit easier. So that was it. That was it pretty much.
I guess it will be a better complement of each other also. The clone is this big thing going on. The tube screamer also might overcount the low end or something. The Bluesbreaker more transparent. I guess it works better together.
Yeah, but I like the blues breaker. I mean paired with a Plexi with a Marshall app. It's really great as is. It's simple circuits, but
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it on leads especially. I tube screamer is about a little thing, but talking about the phone.
So I never use both.
Same.
I never use both. I always use one the other.
Ian, Centura, and Billy.
Really? I never use both. It's always one or the other.
Okay.
So for cleans, it's always a claw.
Okay.
Yeah, for clean boost, it's always a claw. As well as solo boost. Power chord, high gain stuff, it's always with the click.
The only time I combine it is that the pickup is very low output, and I really need a kick for lead. So boost breaker is just already on.
Second out here.
Alright. Yes, okay. See, what else can we dig for Abang Nikus? Alright, we are back from intermission. Now we got our focus period. Abang Wan lah. To be sure the chance. Wah, tamu. This is an evening with Ceriatone lah. Anyway, so how did it all start for you and Ceriatone being this anonymous thing? I'll have people know Abang Wan is mesti Ceriatone. How did it come about?
Okay, it started 2010. 2010, yes. That's how long I've been using Ceriatone hams. So it was, I got called to do a musical theatre. So it's a 2-month kind of gig where it's a stay there kind of gig. So instead of getting the backline amps, sometimes you don't know how's the maintenance, upkeep and all that. Sometimes you don't know, right? Backline stuff. Some are good, some not so. But yeah, instead of risking that, or should I say, use sometimes amps you get tough familiar and on carpet lines a bit. So I figured, since I know there's a Malaysian company doing it, because I already in words around the grapevine that there's a Malaysian company. I'm like, okay, straight to. So, and that time, I don't know if you remember this shop, Otoko Music.
Oh yes, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So happens, they were the dealers for Ceriatone at that time. Because they bought my Les Paul at my first Les Paul. Used Les Paul. There. So I saw a couple of Ceriatone hams. I'm like, okay, I know it's a Malaysian company based on the name. Come on, Ceriatone ya? Yeah.
Ceriatone.
No, it's not Ceriatone. It's Ceriatone.
Bukan Ceriatone,
Ceria bunyi-bunyi happy nah. So I asked the owner. That time it was I can't remember his name right now. Yeah, I asked one of the owners. Was it Chip? Yeah, Chip. Yes, Chip.
Something shit.
And Clement.
Clement.
Yeah, and Clement. So I asked, I said, I'm interested in this amp. Can you somehow hook me up with Nik? And then he said, okay, we'll set up a meet lah. So we end up meeting in Kayu Hacienda. Okay, SS2. Okay, so I presented the idea. Said, look, since you are a Malaysian ham, we're doing quite a big musical theatre. That time it was Tiara Jacqueline new production, so it was huge. So I was thinking, why not? It's a Malaysian production, Malaysian guitar player. Why not Malaysian ham? Then and Nick said, yeah, why not? So the original deal was right after the musical, I had to return back. Return the amp. So then Nick was asking me, okay, what amp you want and all that. I'm like, whatever do you have? Anything that has clean and gain that I can use throughout the show, I'm set. And he's like, okay, I have this new one that we came up. That time it was the OTS FM.
Okay.
So that's the model I use. OTS FM PT. I'm like, oh, okay.
What does the FM stand for?
Ford Mustang.
What was the yeah, that is actually the PSFM is based on a number 102 number ODS.
Okay.
It's a Robert Fox. And
Yeah.
so for the disjointed association.
Okay. Being a Robin Ford fan, of course I cannot say no. Because I'm like, okay. Yeah, no, why not? And then I say, okay, I give you the head and the 112. The Ceriatone built 112. Yeah. So the deal was, I said, okay, after 2 months, I finished the musical, I return it back. And he's so gracious, he said, it's okay, you can use it. Okay, I'm not going to return it. So that started the relationship. It started off a business thing where I wanted to use it for a show. And from there, it went into, we became personal friends. We became good friends. We know each other's families.
quite a lot. Atau easily 7.
I had it for 10 years. Baru terus. Apa orang tuntun?
So it's permanent.
User, he had a good user. I'm gonna ask for medical lah.
In a way, I told him that so firstly macam kita buat macam look, I know your amps punya ni, but most of your customers are overseas. So why not I become your field tester? So I take your amps to shows and I give you feedback on it. And he's like, yeah, why not? No, at least we can see the amp durable or not and whatnot. So yeah, okay, let's do that. So from there, 2010 onwards, I've been using Ceriatone for most of the concerts that are here because I don't travel with it.
Yes, it is.
Freight charges and all that. And of course, I takut the amp pecah. Yeah. And the rest is history.
And then from there, from field testing, you do in-house demos now.
This one we have been talking since before PKP.
Yeah.
Actually, during PKP, he asked me, he said, why not you just do a couple of videos of the amps? Because since that OTS, so it kind of like beranak two more. So I got 2 more from him. So those 2 are the smaller power ones. So I have the OTS 50 watts, usually 50 watts for concerts, for big concerts and all that. I have Son of Unity 30 watts for the smaller shows, and I have a Tweedle Delight 50 watts for sometimes TV show or whatever.
Yeah, interesting.
So
collections will grow.
So yeah, and then came another one. Okay, I've got bitten by the bug again. Okay, so I was testing one of the newer amps at the time. So it was the Leviathan. So testing a couple of times, like until I cannot sleep. Like I called him in the middle of the night, ni tak boleh tidur.
Okay.
So it's up to the point. Angau to the max. I said, you know what? Just email me lah. Because anything you want to do with Nik, is email. Don't base Nik@ceriatone.com. That's the plan.
Jangan social media, then your WhatsApp.
Nik is Nik@ceriatone.com.
Because whenever I receive instructions or orders, I mean, it's not just me. I have to distribute the instruction to quite a lot of people. I mean, in terms of the company.
Production line, production lab.
Yeah. So if I accept communications from all the channels, Instagram or Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, Tinder, it becomes really difficult. I mean, it's really important to get things right. And email is so easy to remember. I mean, you can go to my to the Ceriatone website. Just write me an email. Yeah.
Swiping right will help lah.
And the worst part is, during my order, that was during the influx of orders during PKP. So, I had to wait for a year. So imagine that year for me, it was agonizing. I was waiting for the whole year. It was agonizing until it came, I think it was one of the builders. I think it was Bejo. Bejo. So he told me, what, come in. I was about to do a video, right? Come, what? See that one? SEOM. Oh, ada lah. So what I had to do is, I had to part with the OTS. Okay, so the OTS came back to ways. So basically, takkan nak pegang part benda nak letak.
He said that actually.
So we swore. So now, my new favorite is my turn.
Then the back actually we can jeans. That's here and there lah. Okay. You see, that's how you brought up an interesting thing where you were looking for this amp for a show due to like how a backline amp condition could be.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I guess this is good advice for some players who figure like, aku tak payah beli amp lah, aku pakai je lah apa ada kat situ. But as to maintain the integrity of your tone, you would say that is it a good investment to actually go ahead and get your own head that missed, if not it.
Yes. Because before I got with Ceriatone, I have my Hobbies. I got into tube amps because of Orange Tiny Trato.
Today.
No, serious. So I got that because it's so easy to carry around, right?
So like that.
So I go to all my shows with that.
Basically, the mic.
So I'm so used to that sound already.
Yeah.
And part of the things that I won't compromise is my sound.
Yes.
So I wouldn't mind carrying the stuff as long I get my sound, so that I have no qualms after the show though. Because I tak suka after show macam, alamak, it should sound like this lah. I don't like that. Because it's a very icky feeling now.
Yes.
That's just a good point, you know, like a lot of, especially in Malaysia, you know, you just go there and use whatever backlight provided. I mean, where's the, you know, the feeling to like preserve, we don't, you see those snitches.
And moreover, where I'm standing, where I'm sitting in terms of jobs, right? I can't be complaining about my sound.
Yes.
I can't be
Especially when you're backing up an artist.
Yes, so you can't, you can't dilly-dally. No, you cannot. It has to be there.
You got to be ready to rock and roll, really.
Yeah, and it has to be spot on.
Yes.
You know, so far, and partly why I went to Nik is because of tech support.
Okay, in case anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything is shipped. And since Malaysian guitar player, Malaysian no, and of course Malaysian guitar also. Go on, that one later.
Yeah. Okay. But I would guess that the amps never had any issues.
The old OTS, I used it for a whole 6 years without servicing.
That did.
6 years.
Okay.
Then only I sent in,
Yeah.
just because.
Yeah.
Just because.
Of course, the dudes were shocked as shit at that point. No. It was still working. There's no buzz. There's no feedback. Nothing extra. Hello, nothing. Huh?
But it's best to like come in for maintenance. I mean,
Because he asked me, hey, but em tak nak SIM disk ke? I was like, yeah. After 6 years, pakai baru dia. Right, no? Never had a problem. I bring it to sessions, I bring it to TV shows, I bring it to concerts.
Interesting. Great. And then another thing to explain, you said like things need to be instantaneous, like people can't be waiting on you to be complaining, getting your sound. I just saw a video, Tim Pierce and all that. He was like saying like that's one of the benefits of using this kind of analog gear. When the artist or producer ever ask you something, you cannot be scrolling through pages of your multi effects to find the damn tone. Like that's the thing. That's the thing I couldn't get with the newer stuff. Yeah. Because I'm so used of everything so tactile. So everything has to be in front of me, like pedals and all that, right? So you can see the knobs of the pedals. Like my rap, I can see the knobs. I know where it is. And basically it's an organized chaos. Everything is like jumbled up, but you know what inside the working is. Yes. And you know when the fella describes, I'm lacking this or whatever, you know exactly what to do. And within 3 seconds you have it and you're like, go.
But that's also can come down to like creature or habit lah. We guitar player memang creature or habit. So like we're so used of that, then suddenly you want to change your infrastructure, you want to change your workflow. It become another learning process. You start from zero again. Then you get frustrated.
Yeah. But I guess digital is more like convenience and
Of course it's convenient, yes, of course it's convenient.
But to say, in terms of feel, the tactileness, what to institute into is still...
It's more of a process of a whole, and as I say, it's some of its parts. It's a combination of all things. So somehow I know this guitar is going to work with this amp, with this pedal, with this spike cable. I mean, I can be picky up on it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and demo this amp beside you then. Tell us again what exactly this is and we can show us some tones.
Okay,
It's beautiful.
so right now the knobs is all Nik just now. Okay, so whatever, we can ask him later. So I'm plugging into the first input. So this is the Plexi 51, right?
yeah, all access.
51 all access. So basically, as Nik said, it's a Plexi with all the option switches that you can select. You can basically tweak to your liking.
Yeah, it's currently set to sort of like 67 9050 with solid state rectifier, 56K, tone slope resistor. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
all technical.
stop.
I just play the.
Let's get it through the nail.
Alright, so I I have this beautiful guitar. My video yourself because I've been requested to bring this guitar.
Yes.
But no, but this is actually one of the guitars that I use for my sessions. So the guitars that you're gonna be seeing is actually the guitars that I've been using. So this is one of the guitars. So this is ES55 straight, nothing done to it. The stock.
No pedals, nothing, straight into the amp.
No pedals.
Yeah.
Alright, so back pickup, full volume. Don't mind me. It's so used to it.
You need to crank it a bit more, maybe.
Yeah, you go louder. So let's get this. That's the initial sound. The amp, full volume, everything. So now, let's see how clean it gets by me turning the knob. That'd be so rock and roll, then you.
That's good player, the good guitar, into a good amp. He hasn't even touched the knobs on the freaking amp, but you can get everything. This is a testament to Ceriatone, as well as the Gibson ES55 in anything natural. It is double volume and double pots. You can get any tone you want.
I haven't touched the tone knobs yet.
Oh, yeah, only volume one.
Only the volume.
When we pump it up. Takes for the switches at the back. So I guess let's get the head control tweaking. Switches at the back is where it's at. Let's see.
What? Tunggu kan awak. Awak mau? Biji.
Let's see. It's the important thing about a tube amp, right? To get that feedback sustained. Having a real amp in the room as opposed to a digital modular, getting the feedback is going to be a bit more difficult. Yes. Yeah, look at maybe if you have a pulse of weights that's blasting directly and you pick up, then perhaps yes, but you need feedback.
Just push apart, right? Feedback.
Ini same. Tipu. Dia tipu.
So button for
Bohong. And actually another thing about sustain, I don't know, I always feel is actually high bond too. Yeah, so it comes from.
It's the headroom.
Yeah,
It's the headroom.
yeah.
You get everything by breathing.
Correct. And sometimes people mistake the feedback on to sustain. Yeah, that's the thing. Come to high volume.
Yep. And then this kind of amps, right, especially kick amps, it has that one. Even though it's like it has that sustain and all that, but it's also the bloom of the notes.
Yes.
You know, when you hit the note, it kind of like if you see it on the wig, it hits. You can see the attack, but it's the decay.
Okay.
What matters is the decay. So the decay can be very smooth, and there's last cut. So usually the digital amp, there's always a click.
Okay.
I mean, if you really listen to it, but in my experience, this one is always has that smooth going down, that smooth decay.
Okay, understood. It's also a compression thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's so natural.
Yeah.
Because with this, there's no rate, there's no compression, there's no threshold.
Yeah.
Basically, there's no ratio. So it's keep.
Calling your fingers. Only jari. Hashtag terus jari.
But I mean, tube compression is so random.
Yeah. Different airs, different. Yeah, like it's so random, right? Yeah.
That randomness, that quirkiness is what makes it beautiful. Ini.
This guy is damn open. I bet if you plug into this amp beside me, this is much more easier to spend. Because Sabino is.
Yeah, this side. Again.
But I want to change guitar also.
Okay.
More like this kind of need that intermission.
Okay, we are back from our second intermission and we've swapped amps to this amazing new Trato FAS50. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Victor Watts.
So you see the snake skin and you see the knob. You have a hint really lah. You know the brand Soldano is based off that brand.
Yeah.
The amp known to be one of the most versatile amps among studio session players who were tired of the bright tones from a Marshall and wanted something smoother. I believe so. Yeah. First now we're going to hear one plate ensures every possible tone from this one single amp. Take it away.
Yeah, that's a clean channel on the crunch mode. Because it got snake skin. Why you want to play clean? Come on.
Hey, this shit, we could see talk about it. A lot of studio session pros, they use a crunch for their clean.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell why you feel it's that way. Why you don't use a clean? Why you use a crunch but you roll back?
When they use clean sound, it's actually guitar direct to board. So it's very glassy sound. They want that kind of like. So when they mix with the process with the effects and all that, so it cuts to more. So why is actually please pakai ni using clean sound? It's because cry sound is so dynamic.
Would you say it's not just dynamics, but the compression helps to even out all the strings on the guitar?
For me, it's more of the dynamic. It's more of a response.
Okay.
So because sometimes when you use clean sound, then when you want to dig it kind of gave up. Especially with compression. Especially with compressor pedals and all that. So you want to do... Suddenly, there's a ceiling there. Right? So with cry sound, you don't have that. So you kind of get the hair of it. In this position, firstly. Very small. See the hike. So basically, with cry sound, you don't have that. You don't get the cut.
Yes. Yeah. See, now you all know why.
For me lah. Kan, orang lain dah tahu.
Be personal to all the new people out there. Why is that this real?
You get this. In the room is insane. In the room, bergetar tadi. That's the current sound. Let's go to the long-awaited sound.
Second, the higher gain channel.
So this is the overdrive channel. Your drums are just going again. Insane. I love my job.
Yes. You can tell. Yeah, it was so much fun. What is your flight cleaning up with this film?
With this.
Awesome. elongated with plugins, ladies and gentlemen. Big chat. Thank you so much, everyone. This was the Music Notes Podcast by Muse Bliss. And you want Ceriatone amps, of course, you can email Nik Ceriatone. Check out their website for all the amps they have. And you can, of course, check out their YouTube channel for the amazing tones and playing by Abdul. So there you go. Like, subscribe, share. See you next video. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Guys.